What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video. It is Friday. Thankfully, it is April 25th. We are back with another video for you. We're breaking down the entire day. So if you've never been with us before, we do things differently here. We break down every game. We look at all the games on the day. We look at all of the pitchers, all of the batters. If we want to look at some stacks, we look at BVP history. We look at batter splits. We look at it all for you. After we go through all of the games, we do have a couple of segments for you. So the first segment is the matchup tool. So what we do is we go through every batter that has a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 simulations. So every day we do 20,000 simulations by the time the lineups lock. But before the video, we do 10,000 to get you guys a first look at this slate. So on top of that, after that, we do our segment Pitches Be Crazy. So we go through the top 5 pitchers that have the best matchups against the teams that strike out the most. And then at the very end, you can find all of these in a chapter in the description of this video. But at the very end, we do our Makin bacon bets. So we look at some bets, whether or not we look at over under 1.5 bases or strikeouts, whatever it is. We look at some of our favorite bets for the day. All of that here for you for free. So if you want to help the channel out, you can always donate to us, CashApp, Venmo, or PayPal. The email is down below to get our information. You can always check out our free Discord. But the biggest thing you guys can do is watch this entire video, thumbs it up, like it, and leave a comment. Do not spam the comments, but leave a comment, because we do have 2 giveaways. Every single baseball video, we try to have 2 giveaways. The first way, like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment. You do all 3 of those, and this video gets at least 50 likes, you'll have a shot at a free week of FTA+. So that is a week of all sports. So MLB, NBA, PGA, MMA on Saturdays, NASCAR on Sundays. Anytime this video gets 100 likes, you'll have a shot at a free month, 150 likes, a free year, 200 or more likes on this video, a chance at a lifetime pass. And the second way to win, somewhere in the video, there'll be a keyword or a key phrase. Listen for it, type it in, do not spam it, but put it in your comment and have a second shot. So we are going to roll this twice. This first one is because we got a minimum of 50 likes on Thursday's video. And then the second one we roll will be for the keyword or key phrase that you guys put in. So even if the keyword is here, that is not the winner. There you go. William Fasanello, that is 3 days in a row that you have won. That is wild. We've never had that before. His comment, if you're not signed up for FTA, what are you doing exactly? Get in there, $10 for the week. It is going to go up to $15 May 1st, but if you guys get into the weekly pass for $10, you're going to get that recurring. The monthly is $29.99. That will go up $5 as well. So if you want to get in there, they are recurring. You can get it for that price, but it will go up. So congratulations, William. Again, I cannot believe you won. You know the drill. Email me and we'll get you set up. You're already set up, but just email me so I know you saw this. And we are going to re-roll it because we did have Thirsty Thursday was the keyword yesterday. I don't even know how that's possible. We haven't had that happen in so long. William, again, you won both of them. Now, this is what I'm telling you guys. Don't be discouraged. If you come back every day, you have a chance to win, just like William. I can't believe you won both of them. So congratulations. I cannot wait for you to see this. Get excited, William, and then email me. You know the drill. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over all the games. We're going to use outlier.bet. If you have not checked them out yet, the link will be down below. You guys, I believe they're going to give you a 7-day free trial if you get in there. And there we go. So we've got the games. We do have an early game where, for whatever reason, the Cubs are always like this. So we're not going to cover the Cubs game because it is 4.5 hours before the main slate. So we are going to jump in well, then we have a couple of these games right here. So you have 2 early, and then the first game is Toronto. So this is an early slate of 2 games, which we will cover. So we are looking at Baltimore versus Detroit for the first game for the main slate, or for the early slate. It is Casey Mize, and then Baltimore, they think it's going to be Young. So it's not confirmed yet. So that's the problem. But the way their offense has been going, like overall, they really haven't seen Casey Mize much. Basically, 2 starts? The equivalent of 2 starts. Ryan O'Hearn's the one who's had success. Using this, you can see green means good. So the batters you could use, like Tyler O'Neill, 273 batting average. You've got Purestad, 3 bombs, 256 batting average. Ryan O'Hearn batting 294. Gunnar Henderson batting 302. Gary Sanchez batting 273. Again, that's 11 at-bats. And then Adley, he does hit lefties better. 59 at-bats, 4 home runs there. So Kind of looking at those. If you don't want to go with Casey Mize, I completely understand with some of the Baltimore bats, but their offense has just not looked like it's not what we'd expect. And their pitching is terrible. I don't know why they did not get pitching in the offseason. Detroit bats, if it is Brandon Young, they've never faced him before. It's just, there's no way. Like, Detroit's one of those teams where you want to take him every single day. So I am looking at Riley Green here. I am looking at Kerry Carpenter. I would look at Colt Keith. I would look at Dylan Dingler. Dirk Dingler. It reminds me of that Pokemon. Diglett? And Dig Trio or Doug Trio or something. Well, I don't know. However it goes. But yeah, I mean, those would be the ones I'd look at. Maybe a little bit of Torkelson in there. Maybe Zach McKinstry. I do like a Detroit stack in this one. I don't mind Baltimore there. It really just comes down to which Baltimore pitcher it's going to be. But as of right now, Detroit's a 1.5 point favorite. So then the next game early here, we've got the Mets at the Nationals. Going through this, Jake Irvin versus Kodai Senga. It's not confirmed to be Jake Irvin yet, but it's his turn in the rotation. As long as the weather is not a concern, we should be good to go there. So Senga comes in. He's got a .79 ERA this year, 3-1 record. The strikeouts are a little bit low, but he's not walking very many people, which is, you always want to see that. So we look at that, and Washington bats against him. They haven't seen him much. Josh Bell is a home run. That's it. Against right-handed pitching this year. James Wood, I mean, he's hitting some nukes, but at 245 batting average against righties. Nate Lowe's batting 353 against righties, so he's another one I would look at. Kybert Ruiz batting 340. If you didn't want to go with Senga, because a lot of people will be on Senga early because of his numbers, and you want to get that little stack of Washington, I'm completely okay with that. That's basically it. Like, you know, Luis Garcia, you could use a little bit too. Just depends on how much you trust him there. I don't know if it's going to be Jake Irvin, but if it is, the Mets bats against him. Like, Lindor has a home run. He's been on fire. Brandon Nimmo there. You could look at them. But you do see the Mets offense, they do hit righties better. So let's wait for the lineup to come out. But, Lindor makes sense. Acuna makes sense. Sanger, if he's starting, makes sense. Actually, I believe Francisco Alvarez is getting activated today for that and someone else, and McNeil. I think him and McNeil. So that will change up the lineup a little bit. If they do, in fact, if they haven't already by the time you watch this video, they're supposed to be getting activated, which will kind of change up a little bit. Sanger probably gets sent down, or someone will. So that's definitely something to pay attention to. Juan Soto only batting 191 against righties this year. Kind of wild. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Senga, I don't mind because his numbers are great, but if you want to go a little bit contrarian, you could definitely go with a Washington stack that I don't think a lot of people will be on. So then we get into the first game of the main slate. We've got Toronto at the Yankees. You got Jose Barrios versus Carlos Carrasco. And we look at this. Now, Barrios, we know, overall, like the Yankees, they do strike out a ton. They strike out the second most out of any team. But Barrios has been just so inconsistent. Comes in with a 5.02 ERA. I mean, when we're looking for value, we're looking basically for about 2 to 2.5 times value. So you can see they dropped his price has just continuously dropped past few games. Past 4 games, 5 games now. He's 6,900. So he is very cheap. He has a good matchup against a team that does strike out the most, or second most. But they can hit a ton of home runs, especially at this ballpark. That's what scares me. Because if we look at the ballpark, let's see. Just curious if the wind is blowing out. Because obviously with park factors, that's always a big thing. You always look at it. And this ballpark, obviously, we know it's very hitter friendly. And a lot of the times, if the wind is blowing out, you'd absolutely love that. So looking at the ballpark factors for Yankee Stadium for this slate, currently right now blowing out to left, so not right, but still plus positive for home runs in that chance there. The biggest one is Progressive Field, Boston at Cleveland. So here's my dilemma. Bad game against Seattle. By that, I mean 3 strikeouts, more walks and strikeouts. 6 Ks against Baltimore, 10.5, 17.6, 20.6, 2.7. Scares me. I know the Yankees do strike out. You can throw them in tournaments because of that fact, but I think the Yankee stack makes sense. Carrasco, kind of up and down, 6.53 ERA. Terrible start against Tampa Bay, 4 innings, 4 earned runs. They ended up losing that game 10-8. I think that was the walk-off game when they went to extra innings. I hate extra innings. I hate everything about the ghost runner on second. Kansas City had a good start, not a good start against Detroit, good start against Arizona, kind of up and down. He's under 6K going up against a Toronto team that overall 47 plate appearances, 217 batting average against him, 21.3K percent. Toronto's offense is weird. Like Vladdy has a home run against him, and that's it. And then you look at this, Vladdy's batting 288. So obviously it's the normal. I would look at Bo Bichette, I would look at Vladdy, I would look at George Springer. Rodon is a cheaper option for your infield. I mean, in this ballpark, Santander being a lefty, I don't mind that either. Being a switch hitter. The batters against Barrios, like Volpe and Bellinger have a home run. Grisham has 2. Judge has 4. Judge is on fire. Obviously, he's in there. If Grisham is in there, I'm taking it. He's got that daddy power. Just had a kid. Congrats on the sex, Grish. Just had a kid the beginning of this week. So yeah, I would look at Grisham if he's in there. I would look at Paul Goldschmidt. He's absolutely on fire as well. Like a Ben Rice. If Ben Rice is leading off, I love that as well. So that's kind of where I'm going at in this game, for sure. I just feel a little bit more comfortable, more so with a Yankee stack than anything. Carrasco for tournaments, I'm okay with because he is so cheap. I just don't know if I trust Barrios because I could see him either has 8 strikeouts against the Yankees or he gives up 5 runs in the first inning. It just, I don't see any other way. Boston at Cleveland does have the best chance for home runs, but again, there is some weather concern. You got Ben Lively versus Tanner Houck. So Ben Lively comes in 650 or 6,500, 386 ERA. He hit value his last start against Pittsburgh. Does have a good matchup because Boston strikes out the 4th most out of any team. So that is definitely a plus. 3 away games, 2 home games. He's pitching at home with a 3.27 ERA. My concern is the weather here. Then you got Tanner Houck. To be honest with you, for some reason, I thought Houck was making his debut for the year. I'm not going to lie. I don't remember him starting any of these games whatsoever. Good start against the White Sox, but you're supposed to have a good start. 2 earned runs, 7 Ks. Minus 22 against Tampa. Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah, okay. I remember that. He got absolutely shelled by Tampa Bay. Then I said we could take him against the White Sox because the White Sox are bad. 2 earned runs, 7 Ks. He had a good start there. Been very inconsistent. Going up against Cleveland, I don't know if I trust that. If I take a batter in this one or a pitcher in this one, it would be Ben Lively. But there are just other options that we can take today. A lot better pitching options in these guys. So I'm probably looking at the bats. Overall, like Wilyer Abreu, Jarren Duran, I would look at Rafaela. I would look at Christian Campbell. I mean, Ref Snyder batting 357 if he gets in there. Jarren Duran, 297 batting average. Like, these are the ones I'd look at. Bregman, 308 batting average. I think he had a home run on Thursday as well. So I would look at a Boston stack, but again, the weather's going to be what plays a big factor. I don't know which Houck we're going to get. But J-Ram does have a home run against him. But this year, J-Ram has batted better against lefties than righties. Gabriel Arias batting 298 with 47 at-bats and 3 bombs against right-handed pitching. He would be one. I would look at J-Ram a little bit. Roquillo batting 300 on the year against righties. He's a good option. You got Steven Kwan batting 373, has 4 bombs, steals bases, get you all the fantasy points you need. Martinez is batting 296. Like, I don't trust Tanner Houck here. If the weather holds up and he does start, I kind of like Cleveland as a stack, but I do like Boston as a stack as well. But this game, there's just there's other pitchers we can pay up for today. Angels versus Minnesota, Pablo Lopez making his return from the 15-day IL. I don't know if I trust that. He obviously had a bad start to start the year, and then 2 good starts, one at Chicago, one at the Kansas City Royals. Now he does have a good matchup here against the Angels. The Angels strike out 3rd most out of any team. How long is he going to be in this game? So 4.2 innings, striking out 4 batters, allowing 1 earned run on 3 hits and no walks during his, what was that, Saturday. So again, he's got a good matchup. Good numbers. We didn't hopefully get at least 5 innings out of him. Then you got Kyle Hendricks. We did use him his last start against San Francisco. Nothing. Gave us nothing. One strikeout. He's a boring pitcher. I bet he's boring. I bet he looks like he has no personality. 10 Ks in 4 starts is not good. 4.50 ERA. I'd be looking at Minnesota bats. I don't trust him whatsoever. What I would look in this one, Byron Buxton. We use him till he gets hurt inevitably. I would use him. I would use probably Trevor Larnach. Depending on who else is in this lineup here, probably looking at just trying to see who's had success. Like in their career, 86 plate appearances against the Angels, 313 batting average, 31.4. Just kind of looking like Travis d'Arnaud's batting 5 for 14 with 3 home runs. So 3 of his 5 hits are been home runs against d'Arnaud. That would be one you could look at. I don't know if he'll be in there though. I would look at Mike Trout. I would look at Logan O'Hoppe. I would look at Nolan Schanuel, Luis Rengifo if he's in there, maybe a little bit of Taylor Ward as well. Flip side of that, those were the Angels bats. The Minnesota bats that I would look at really just depends. But outside of what we've got going on and trying to depend on who we're looking for, Byron Buxton at the top. He's probably my number one, my go-to there, for sure. Trevor Larnach is 2. Probably looking at it, if he gets in there, Brooks Lee, cheap option. Ty France is a cheap option. Normally, we like to use Ryan Jeffers against lefties, but if he is starting, I do not mind him whatsoever there. So I'm probably off of both pitchers. If I were to take one, it would be Pablo Lopez, but I don't know if I trust him enough. Then we got Houston versus Kansas City. Hayden Wesneski versus Seth Lugo. This is a pitcher's ballpark. It's in Kansas City, which is always nice. You got Wesneski coming in, 3.91 ERA. Kind of boring, like 2 good starts and then 2 mid starts. Really didn't do much. Had 10 strikeouts against the Angels, but now he goes up against Kansas City. Their offense is pretty good. As long as the weather holds up, we should be good in this one. Seth Lugo is one of those where hasn't really had a breakout start yet. Not like last year. Last year he was like sub 2 ERA or really close to that. Not looking like he did last year, which is expected sometimes. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I don't trust him enough. But we see some of these things, and I'm probably off of both of the pitchers. It is a pitcher's ballpark, but I'm probably looking at offense here. Now, I will let you know, if you're new to the channel, I am wrong sometimes, but we are trying to make you better DFS players. If you want to get into the Discord, which is down below, we try to give you core plays, value plays, try to answer any questions you do have in there if I have time and availability to do that. But being a Friday, I took off my real job, so I should be able to answer your guys' questions. Hopefully all day. We'll just see if there's a honey to-do list since I took the day off. There probably will be. So Houston against Seth Lugo, not much, but Brendan Rodgers does have a home run. You got Jordan has a home run. Against right-handed pitching this year, you can see like it's very up and down. Myers is batting 288, so he's hitting better. Jordan's only batting 206 against righties, which is wild. Altuve batting 305 with 3 bombs. I don't mind him. Christian Walker only batting 197, but I don't mind him either. Brendan Rodgers could be a cheap option. Isaac Paredes could be another cheap option there if you are stacking. Kansas City bats against Wesneski. Really haven't seen him. Then we look at this. Not a ton against right-handed pitching. Like Can is batting 300, but it's 3 hits and 10 at-bats. Michael Garcia batting 250. India batting 194. Overall, I'm probably using Bobby Witt Jr. Probably using Kyle Isbell if he gets in there. Wesneski for tournaments? Maybe, because they are very bad. Like, I don't trust Kansas City as much. So Wesneski at 82. I wish he wasn't 8,200, but I'm okay with that if that's the direction we go in here. Milwaukee and St. Louis do have some weather concern here. You got Chad Patrick versus Matthew Liberatore. Patrick's never faced St. Louis before. Liberatore, 27 plate appearances, a 174 batting average against him. We look at Liberatore in this one. Pretty decent. We did take him against the Mets. 2 earned runs, 6 Ks. He's actually been pretty good strikeout-wise. 6 his last start, 7 back-to-back starts there. If we look at how Milwaukee does strikeout-wise, they strike out an average of 8.08, and then when Milwaukee is on the road, they're striking out 8.25. So they strike out more on the road as well. And usually you want to take them, but I mean, Liberatore at 7,500 might be interesting. Chad Patrick comes in, like he's had decent starts, like every other start. Well, here he's been pretty good. The issue is getting 6 innings, which he did against Athletics. St. Louis is one of those teams that, for no reason, when you don't take them, you take a pitcher against them, or just me, they seem to hit. So there's not much against Liberatore. Really haven't had much success. Against lefties this year, like Bryce Terang batting 310. Very surprised William Contreras only batting 167. Durbin, if he gets in there, batting 400 again. It's 5 at bats, so 3 for 5 or 2 for 5. We look at that, and they have home runs. Like Vinny Capra has a home run, but he's batting 120. Churio batting 317. Sal Frelick batting 364. Like, if I were to stack against Liberatore, I'm probably looking at Churio. I'm probably looking at Frelick. I'm looking at Bryce Terang. I'm probably looking at Rhys Hoskins. And my 5th one, honestly, could be Garrett Mitchell. Could be a cheap option in a stack there. St. Louis has never faced Chad Patrick before. But yeah, like Burleson batting 296 this year. Brendan Donovan batting 394. I would look at him. Victor Scott batting 305 with a home run against right-handed pitching. Pedro Pajes batting 256. You could look at him. Thomas Sagasi batting 385. I'm probably off the pitching. I'm probably looking at both sides of the ball batting. That's probably where I'm at there. Cincy at Colorado, another game that has weather concern. It looks like it should be Freeland versus Andrew Abbott. I would look at Abbott only because Colorado strikes out the most out of any team. But he is 8,600. That's my problem. He's 8,600. It's his 3rd start of the year. He's had 2 really good starts, though. Surprised they have not priced him down, considering it's in Colorado. But Colorado, they're historically bad. So I would look at Abbott, and then I would definitely look at the Reds bats here. I'm probably off of Colorado, but that could be on me. You could go that way, but against Freeland, like Austin Hayes has a home run, Spencer Steer has a home run. That's it. But against left-handed pitching this year, they really haven't done as well. But TJ Friedel batting 300, Fraley batting 333, so 1 hit and 3 at-bats. Espinal batting 294 could be a cheap option. Ellie De La Cruz with this altitude, I want that. I want him in there. Austin Hayes I would use, and maybe even Austin Wins. Really just depends. So let's make sure it is actually Kyle Freeland. It's not, I don't think, been confirmed yet, but that's kind of where I'd go in that situation. The next game on the slate, Atlanta at Arizona. You got Chris Sale versus Zach Gallen. Sale has 6.17 ERA. He's looked broken. Yeah, it's not looking ideal. 3 walks in 2 straight games. 8 and 7 strikeouts. So they've been good, but he's given up earned runs in every single start. Now he goes into Arizona. I don't want to pay $9,000 for a 6 ERA. Could he have a good game? Yes, he could, but I don't trust him in this ballpark. Zach Gallen against the Braves, 5.60. He's up there as well with a ERA. He really has had 1 good start against the Yankees. Outside of that, really haven't hit value at all. I'm probably off of the pitching in this one and probably looking at the bats. If I were to go to that route here, Braves bats against Gallen, like Ozzie Albies has a home run, or Arcia, Matt Olson, Austin Riley, they all have home runs. I would definitely, and you can see they do hit righties better. I'd be looking at Marcell Ozuna in this ballpark. I'd be looking at, you could look at Baldwin for a cheap catching option today if he gets in there. Ozzie Albies, I would look at. Austin Riley and Matt Olson are definitely there. And then I think I got to get Michael Harris in there. I think he went 4 for 4 the last game on Thursday or on Wednesday. He was the only Brave that I didn't have in my parlay that missed. You could look at Verdugo in this one if he gets in there. Be a cheap outfield option there. Arizona bats against Chris Sale. Like Grichuk has a home run. He does usually hit lefties better. Not this year. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. hits better against lefties. Perdomo batting 385 against lefties this year. I would look at these guys. Randall Grichuk should be a cheap option if he gets in there. You could go Josh Naylor. It just depends on how deep you think Chris Sale will get into this game. I don't trust Chris Sale at that price, and I really don't trust Zach Gallen with his ERA. Tampa Bay at San Diego, you've got Michael King versus, it is actually to be announced right now. Tampa Bay, it's not guaranteed, but it should be Baz because he just pitched on Saturday. So this should be his start in the rotation. Whether or not they move it, I don't know. But San Diego, they do hit righties better. Coming off a bad start against the Yankees, 5 earned runs. They did end up winning that game, though. Had a great start against Boston, a great start against Pittsburgh. But San Diego, as a team, they struck out the least out of any team, 6.76 times per game. And 6 times a game at home. That's very low. It's it's very low. Surprisingly, the Athletics are the second least strikeout team out there. But Michael King, I would take Michael King all day against Tampa Bay. Don't overthink it. I would look at Michael King, and I would look at San Diego as a stack. I would look at Manny Machado. I would look at Tatis, for sure. I would be looking at, let's see who's probable to be in there. Gavin Sheets would be a cheap first base option. I would definitely look at. Oscar Gonzalez could be a cheap option there. Tyler Wade, I wouldn't use Tyler Wade. But yeah, I would definitely look at Tatis, Machado, Gavin Sheets, Oscar Gonzalez, and maybe a little bit of Bogarts in there. And I do not trust Tampa Bay's offense or pitching. I want nothing to do with it. Next game, Miami at Seattle. So we look at Miami at Seattle here. Cal Quantrill versus Logan Gilbert. Cal Quantrill has been a weird thing. 5,200, but he has an 8.31 ERA. He had a bad start, good start, bad start, bad start. Now he goes up against Seattle on the road. I don't trust him. I do not trust him whatsoever. I know their offense has been iffy, but again, Seattle against Quantrill. I mean, J-Rod batting .545 with 2 home runs, so not bad. Against right-handed pitching, I mean, Jorge Polanco has been absolutely on fire. I would look at him. I would look at Cal Raleigh. I would look at J.P. Crawford. I would look at Luke Raley, J-Rod. You want a very cheap option, either Donovan Solano or Rowdy Tellez. You could throw those guys in there and be okay with that. I would then look at Logan Gilbert for pitching. If I were to take a pitcher here, it would be Logan Gilbert. Now we look at that. I mean, he's had all good starts. He's hit value every single time. And by that is 2 times value. You would love to see about 23, 25 to 30, like 45 to 50 on FanDuel. But 2.63 ERA, 0.88 whip, and 41 strikeouts. Give me that against Miami all day. Miami's the team that strikes out 5th most out of any team. So give me Logan Gilbert and Seattle offense. White Sox at the Athletics. I saw a stat. I saw a White Sox stat. And this was before they played Boston on Thursday. But the White Sox in 2024 had a .221 batting average. They're batting .196 as a team. 278 OBP. They're batting .270 this year. Slugging .340 this year, .305, and OPS .618 last year, .575. They have been historically bad last year. They've been even worse this year. I'm looking at Luis Severino against the Athletics, or against Chicago White Sox. He's had 2 good starts back to back, 1 earned run in those games. One strikeout against Milwaukee, but he went 8 innings. He had a fantastic game. Just the strikeout, it was weird. He didn't have very many strikeouts. So I would look at him, and I would look at the Athletics bat. So depending on the bats that get in there for this game here, that's where it gets a little bit tricky. But Athletics, Shea Langeliers has a home run against him. Soderstrom has a home run. Brent Rooker has a home run. Against right-handed pitching this year, they hit very well. So Nick Kurtz you could look at. You could look at Tyler Soderstrom. I would look at Jacob Wilson. Again, he's very sneaky. Not a lot of people are on him. 342 batting average against righties. I want in on that. Lawrence Butler, 296, steals bases as well. Brent Rooker, I would definitely look at as well. So I am looking at Sevy, and I am 100% looking at the Athletics as a stack, which is so wild. Had you said this, had you said at the beginning of the season, I would definitely go stack-wise Athletics this year, I would have said you're crazy. But you aren't. Now we have, so it's not confirmed, but it should be Paul Skeens in this matchup. He last pitched on Saturday, so obviously it's his turn in the rotation. Gets to go up against the Dodgers. He is 10,000, but you got Yamamoto in that one. I like both of the pitchers. I'm not really looking at the offenses, okay? If you were to think maybe Skeens struggles and you look at the offense for the Dodgers, it just depends. But obviously, Freddie, Mookie, Max Muncy is due. I would look at him. Teoscar Hernandez. Usually we take him against lefties, though. Just depends on the lineup that comes out. But I really like both of these pitchers, both cash or tournaments. I don't care. Yamamoto for $500 more. I'm 100% up for that. Against a lowly Pittsburgh team. Give me all the Yamamoto I can get. And then the final game, Texas at San Francisco. Nate Eovaldi versus Justin Verlander. So we look at Eovaldi. It's not confirmed that's Eovaldi, but he did last pitch on Saturday. 2.64 ERA, a great start against the Dodgers. He now has a fantastic start against San Francisco. He has not faced them this year, but he has a 2.64 ERA, and this is a pitcher's ballpark. Strikeouts, 7 against the Dodgers, 3 against Seattle, which is kind of surprising. Kind of low for 2, with an 8-9. Would not surprise me if he gets 6, 7, or 8 strikeouts in this game. And then Justin Verlander comes up with a 5.47 ERA. He had a good start against the Angels. I think this is a fluke. I do not trust Verlander. He is too old. He just needs to retire. But it's too bad he doesn't have a good-looking wife at home that he could just retire with. But anyway, batters against Verlander. Peterson, I wouldn't use him till he can prove otherwise. Jake Berger, I would look at a little bit. Marcus Semien. Leodis Taveras. But now Seager being out. So Corey Seager's out, right? They put him on the IL. That's what I thought. So he is out. So obviously that should bump up somewhere. But I would be looking at, most likely, you want to cheap Wyatt Langford. Stolen bases and home runs. I'd look at those. Leodis Taveras I would look at. Jake Berger I'm okay with, but he's only batting 183 against righties this year. Josh Smith batting 447. Josh Young batting 293. I would look at them. Maybe, depending, Adolis Garcia. And then if you're looking for like a fifth, if Jonah Heim is starting at catcher, I would look at him. So there you have it. Those are all of the games we have covered. Pitchers, batters, not all of them are 100% confirmed, but once all the pitchers are 100% confirmed, we will throw those into our simulations. So these are 10,000 simulations. So speaking of simulations, we are going to go over all the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating. There are quite a bit today. Quite a bit for this slate. Now, these are early, so these will change, but definitely check back. This, I haven't counted them up yet, but it is going to give a run for the money for the 34 that we had as the most record a few days ago. So as of right now, number 1 is Aaron Judge. Number 2 is Brent Rooker. 3, Lawrence Butler. 4, Shea Langeliers, so it obviously loves athletics early. 5 is Juan Soto. 6 is Pete Alonso. 7 is Kerry Carpenter. 8, Alex Bregman. 9, Kyle Tucker. 10, Randy Arozarena. 11, Gleyber Torres. 12, J-Rod. 13, Tyler Soderstrom. 14, Paul Goldschmidt. 15, Jorge Polanco. 16, Yordan Alvarez. 17, Vladdy. 18, Cal Raleigh. 19, Seiya Suzuki. 20 is Dylan Moore. 21, Ian Happ. 22, Bryce Harper. 23, Santiago Espinal. 24, Jose Altuve. 25, George Springer. 26, Cedane Rafaela. 27, Anthony Santander. 28, Rowdy Tellez. 29, Dansby Swanson. 30, Miles Mastrobuoni. 31, Gio Urshela. 32, Nick Castellanos. 33, JP Crawford. So we missed it by 1 yet again. So we have 33 through 10,000 simulations that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rate. And now to look at pitches be crazy. These are the top 5, not necessarily the only ones we're using, but these are the top 5 for the day. Andrew Abbott scares me a little bit because it is in Colorado, but he has the number 1 matchup against Colorado. Colorado strikes out 10.95 times per game, 11 times at home. Jose Berrios at New York Yankees. Yankees struck out 9.64 times per game, 9 times at home. My problem is Berrios has been bad a lot. That scares me. Number 3 is Pablo Lopez versus the Angels. Angels struck out 9.57 times per game, 9.1 on the road. Again, he's coming off IL. Hopefully he gets at least minimum of 5 innings. Number 4 is Ben Lively versus Boston. Boston strikes out 9.42 times per game, 10.46 on the road. And the final one is Logan Gilbert versus Miami. Miami strikes out 9.21 times per game, 10.38 times on the road. So if the weather holds up in that game, I love Logan Gilbert. probably second most. But the other ones do scare me a little bit. Andrew Abbott, I love the matchup. Just I wish it was in a different ballpark. So there you have it. Now we are going to look at the Makin Bacon. So we're going to look at some of the bets that we do like. These are batters I think through 10,000 simulations will get over 1.5 bases. So 2+ bases. Brent Rooker versus Sean Burke. 2 is Aaron Judge versus Barrios. 3 is Kerry Carpenter versus Brandon Young, if it is in fact Brandon Young. 4 is Alex Bregman versus Ben Lively. 5 is Shea Langoliers versus Sean Burke. 6 is Pete Alonso versus Jake Irvin. If it is Jake Irvin, it has not been confirmed. 7 is Santiago Espinal versus Kyle Freeland. 8, Yordan Alvarez versus Lugo. I don't know if I trust that one because he hasn't hit righties very well this year. 9 is Jose Altuve versus Lugo. 10 is Lawrence Butler versus Burke. 11 is Juan Soto versus Irvin. 12 is Vladdy versus Carlos Carrasco. 13 is Tyler Soderstrom versus Burke. And 14 is Gleyber Torres versus Brandon Young. Actually, and 15, Cedane Rafaela against Ben Lively, final one. The best odds, again, I don't know if I'd go all of them, but you could definitely look at that. If you want to look at strikeouts, so if you want to go like pitching, you want to look at like some pitchers with the odds wherever in their favor, we could definitely look at that too. As long as the weather holds up, I do think Logan Gilbert gets 8+ strikeouts in this game. Right now, over 9.5 is plus odds, so 108. So you could probably take it down to like 8+ and be pretty good there. Andrew Abbott, I'm only scared. I would look at 6+ strikeouts for him, but this ballpark scares me a little bit. Kodai Senga against the Washington Nationals, looking about 5+ strikeouts. Luis Severino is the one that scares me a little bit. He does have a great matchup here against the White Sox. Very bad team overall, but he only had 1 strikeout in 8 innings last game. I think he bounces back. I think we can get 5+ out of him. And then same thing with Nate Eovaldi, 5+ strikeouts out of him. So to reiterate, Logan Gilbert, 8+ strikeouts. Andrew Abbott, 6+. Senga, 5+ to 6+, depending on the line. Luis Severino, 5+ strikeouts. Nate Eovaldi, 5+ strikeouts as well. So hopefully you guys learned something. If you did, make sure you go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Again, help out the channel. Watch the videos there in entirety. Like the videos. Leave comments. Share the videos. All of that helps. The keyword of the day, or the key phrase, is beer. It's either beer or you tell me a beer you think I should try. Now, I like all kinds of beer. I like IPAs, double IPAs. I'm okay with Michelob Ultra. I'm okay with Coors Light. I don't love them. I don't love Busch Light, but I'll drink it if it's there. I'm trying to open my palate up. So there are new people to the channel. Let me know your favorite beers, and I can see if it's around here, if I can find some. So that's what I've got in this video. We broke it down. We'll be back tomorrow for Saturday's slate. Let's have a fantastic Friday, whether or not you're playing NBA DFS for the playoffs, whether or not you're playing MLB, you're sports betting, you're playing DFS. Let's have a great day. Good luck for Friday. And as always, bring home some bacon. Peace.